You are not poor. You go to work. You pay your bills. You meet your obligations. You may even have something saved. A 401k auto-contributing, a mortgage in your name, a checking account that does not hit zero. But every single month, something feels off. Not catastrophic, not dramatic, just quietly, persistently stuck. And the harder you push, the further real financial freedom seems to slide away from you. That feeling has a name. It is called the middle-class trap. Here is what it really is. You earn more. You spend more. You owe more. The numbers go up on both sides of the ledger, but the distance between where you are and where you want to be never changes. It happens because every time income rises, the world finds new ways to claim it. The mortgage grows. The car payment climbs. Healthcare costs inflate. And somewhere in the middle of it all, you are left holding receipts for a lifestyle that was never truly yours. It was just plausible. But here is the revelation nobody wants to say aloud. This trap was not designed by accident. It was engineered. Every system, every structure is built to keep you exactly where you are. Most people spend 20, 30 years inside this trap, genuinely believing they are building wealth, while the actual window for financial accumulation quietly closes behind them. Today I'm going to show you the precise structure of that trap, the 3 hidden pillars holding it in place, and the exact exit path that most financial conversations never reach. Let us begin. Before we go further, I need to establish something clearly. This is not a video about budgeting harder. It is not about cutting subscriptions. It is not about skipping restaurant meals. It is not about extreme frugality or aggressive sacrifice. Those conversations exist at the surface level, and they keep your attention focused on entirely the wrong problem. The middle-class trap is not primarily a spending problem. It is a positioning problem. There is a critical distinction between being financially busy, which most people are, and being financially positioned, which very few people are. Financially busy means your money is always moving, but rarely compounding. Financially positioned means your money is operating inside systems that multiply over time, with minimal ongoing effort required from you. The trap convinces you that busyness equals progress. It does not. Here is the central idea I want you to carry through this entire video. The escape from the middle-class trap is not about earning more. It is about repositioning what you already have. That single shift, when it genuinely lands, changes how you see every financial decision you will ever make. Not occasionally, permanently. The middle-class trap has a precise structure. Most people experience it as a vague, persistent feeling. Not enough, not free, not quite ahead. But that vague feeling is produced by 3 very specific mechanisms operating simultaneously. I call them the 3 pillars of containment. Pillar 1, the stability illusion. Pillar 2, the comfort compromise. Pillar 3, the identity anchor. Together, these 3 pillars create a psychological and financial ecosystem that is remarkably self-sustaining. Each one feeds the others. Each one reinforces the same central belief, that where you are right now is the safest place to stay. That belief is the trap. Not your income level, not your debt, not your background or your education or your zip code. The belief. Because once that belief is dismantled, methodically, precisely, with a structured lens, the exit becomes not just possible, it becomes inevitable. Over the next several minutes, we are going to examine each pillar in close detail. I want you to recognize yourself inside at least one of them. Most people recognize themselves in all 3. And recognition, real, honest recognition, is where the exit begins. Before we continue, I want to pause here. If you are still watching at this point, you are not the person who scrolled past this conversation. You are the person who is still searching for a real answer. That distinction matters more than you know. Let me ask you something directly, and I want you to hold your honest answer quietly in your mind. How many years have you been quietly aware that something was off? Not in crisis, not dramatically behind, Just carrying this low, persistent awareness that you should be further ahead by now, with this recurring sense that something in your financial life is not adding up the way it should. If the answer is more than 3 years, you are exactly who this channel was built for. And I want you to understand something clearly. That awareness is not evidence of failure. It is intelligence, without a proper system to direct it. Most people inside the middle-class trap suppress that feeling. They bury it in busyness. They silence it with routine and distraction. You are watching this video instead. That is the first real separation between the people who eventually escape and the people who never do. Pillar 1. The stability illusion. Here is what it looks like from the outside. You have a steady job. You carry health insurance. You have a mortgage, which feels like ownership. You have a 401k that auto-contributes each pay cycle without requiring your attention. On the surface, this is the picture of a responsible adult. And in many ways, it genuinely is. But the stability illusion emerges the moment you begin to confuse the absence of crisis with the presence of security. They are not the same thing. A stable job is not financial security. It is income dependency with a single point of failure. A mortgage is not wealth. It is structured debt spread across 30 years. A 401k auto-contribution without a clear compounding strategy is not investing. It is delayed uncertainty. The stability illusion does not feel dangerous because by design, it is not supposed to. It is the financial equivalent of standing on a slow-moving escalator, descending while feeling perfectly still. The moment you stop building upward under your own deliberate effort, the system quietly moves you backward. Most people do not notice until they are at the bottom, looking up at where they believed they were standing. This is Pillar 1. Pillar 2. The comfort compromise. Every year, without realizing it, most people make a specific trade. They exchange potential upside for immediate certainty. They choose the car upgrade over the 6-month emergency fund. They choose the subscription renewal over the automated investing transfer. They choose the familiar comfort of the present over the unfamiliar discipline of the future. None of these individual decisions are catastrophic on their own. The problem is the pattern. Because over time, the comfort compromise becomes a compounding liability, not just financially, but psychologically. Comfort is addictive, not chemically, structurally. The more you optimize your environment for ease and certainty, the higher your tolerance for comfort rises, and the more intolerable genuine discomfort becomes. This is why middle-class households with 6-figure incomes often hold less than 90 days of financial runway, not because they cannot save, but because every time they approach a meaningful financial threshold, the invisible gravity of comfort pulls them back to baseline. Higher income does not solve the comfort compromise. It amplifies it. The solution is not willpower. Willpower is a depleting resource, and the comfort compromise is a structural force. Structural forces require structural countermeasures, not personal discipline. Pillar 3. The identity anchor. This is the pillar most financial content never reaches, because it does not live at the level of behavior. It lives at the level of identity. Your financial situation is not merely a collection of numbers. For most people, particularly those who have struggled financially for more than 5 years, it has quietly become part of who they believe they are. Not consciously, not willingly, but somewhere between the first real financial setback and today, a quiet internal story formed. I am not the kind of person who builds wealth. People like me do not get ahead that way. That is for other people, luckier people, people who started earlier. The identity anchor is not a conscious belief you actively hold. It is a gravitational field, shaping every financial decision you make without your full awareness. It is why you hesitate before investing, why you deflect conversations about money, why financial abundance, in the rare moments it arrives, gets unconsciously redistributed back out. The identity anchor is the deepest of the 3 pillars. It is also the most powerful leverage point of the entire system, because when the identity shifts, the behavior changes automatically, without force, without willpower, without discipline. We are going to get to that exit. I want to tell you about a man I will call Marcus. Marcus was 51 years old, half his mortgage paid, one child on a scholarship, one on a student loan, 2 cars, modest retirement savings, and a management role he had held for 12 years. On paper, Marcus looked solid. But when his company restructured and eliminated his department, Marcus discovered something that terrified him. He had 17 days of liquid savings. Not months, days. Everything he had built over 26 years of responsible adult life was locked inside assets he could not quickly access. A home he could not sell without loss, a retirement account with early withdrawal penalties, and a lifestyle that had silently consumed every raise he had ever received. Marcus was not irresponsible. He was not reckless. He was not lazy. He was trapped. Every pillar we just discussed was operating simultaneously inside his financial life. The stability illusion, the comfort compromise, and the identity anchor, reinforcing each other perfectly for over 2 decades. He told me something I have never forgotten. I thought I was building. I was just surviving at a higher price point. That line, building versus surviving at a higher price point. Sit with that for a moment. Then ask yourself honestly, which one currently describes your financial life? Before the exit path, I want to give you a fast diagnostic. 3 questions. Answer them honestly, in your own mind. Question 1. If your income stopped tomorrow, how many days could your current liquid savings sustain your current lifestyle without borrowing from credit or family? Question 2. In the last 12 months, has your net worth grown by more than 5%, not counting the nominal appreciation of your home, which you cannot spend without selling? Question 3. Do you have at least one income-producing asset beyond your primary employment that generates money while you are asleep? If any one of those questions produced discomfort, you are inside the trap. If all 3 produced discomfort, the trap has been running at full capacity, likely for years. Here is what I need you to understand about this moment. This is not a judgment. This is a diagnostic. A physician does not shame a patient for elevated blood pressure. They identify the structural mechanism and intervene with precision. That is what we are doing here. You are not behind because you are irresponsible or undisciplined. You are behind because no one ever handed you the structural map. Today, that changes. Here is the exit. Before I walk you through the exit path, I need to say something directly. If this video is hitting something real for you, if you recognized yourself in the stability illusion, the comfort compromise, or the identity anchor, do not let this moment pass without taking one deliberate action. Subscribe to this channel, not for the number, for what the act signals to your own brain. Every time you engage with content that genuinely challenges your thinking, and you choose to stay, your brain registers that as evidence of a new identity. You are not the person who closes the tab. You are the person who follows through. That is precisely the identity shift we discussed in Pillar 3, and it begins with small, repeated decisions. Also, right now, open your Notes app. Write one sentence. I am inside the middle-class trap, and I am learning the exit. Do not dismiss that as small. That is a psychological declaration. Your brain does not distinguish between large commitments and small ones. It responds to repetition and intention. You just made both. Now come back, because the next 4 minutes contain the actual exit map. Not motivation, not theory, a structured protocol. Let us finish this. The exit from the middle-class trap begins with one non-negotiable first move. Clarity before capital. Most people attempt to escape by throwing money at the problem. More investments, new income streams, aggressive debt paydown. All of those actions are correct, in the wrong order. Phase 1 is about building a precise picture of your current financial architecture before you move a single dollar. 3 specific documents. No software required, just honesty and a structured lens. Document 1. Your financial reality sheet. Total liquid assets, total monthly obligations, total monthly income, your net freedom number. What remains after every obligation is met? Document 2. Your containment map. Where specifically is each pillar operating in your current life? Name the exact habits, positions, and beliefs that are keeping you inside the trap. Document 3. Your exit runway. Based on your current net freedom number, how many months until you can fund one income-producing asset, however modest? That runway number, even if it reads 18 months, transforms everything, because you now have a target, not a wish, a target. Clarity does not require money. It requires honesty and a deliberate lens applied to reality. Phase 1 begins tonight. Phase 2. The compounding reposition. Once clarity is established, the second move is not to immediately increase your income. It is to redirect a small, consistent percentage of your existing cash flow into a compounding vehicle. Not a dramatic sacrifice, not a lifestyle overhaul. The threshold I recommend as your starting point is 5% of your current monthly net income. 5%. Not because it will produce immediate wealth, because it will accomplish something more foundational. It will begin to rewire your identity at the structural level. Every time you make that transfer, every month, without exception, without negotiation, your brain receives new evidence. Evidence that you are a person who builds, not a person who survives at a higher price point. The compounding reposition in Phase 2 is not primarily a financial move. It is a psychological declaration, repeated monthly until it becomes structural truth. The financial acceleration follows in Phase 3 and beyond. But the identity anchor, the deepest pillar of the trap, begins to loosen here. 5%. Automated, non-negotiable, directed toward one clearly defined income-producing asset. That is the lever. It fits inside almost every budget at almost every income level. Begin there. Let me speak to you directly. One final time. You have spent years doing the responsible thing, going to work, meeting your obligations, providing for the people who depend on you. And somehow, despite all of that sustained effort, you still feel like you have not quite arrived. That is not because you did something wrong. That is because you are operating inside a system engineered to produce exactly that feeling. The middle-class trap is not a character flaw, it is an architecture. And architecture, unlike character, can be rebuilt. You now carry the map. 3 pillars, 2 phases, 1 identity shift that repositions the entire trajectory. The question is no longer whether the exit exists. The question is whether you will choose it. Not tomorrow, not when conditions improve or timing feels perfect. Now. Because the only version of this trap that truly has no exit is the one you stop believing you can leave. You are still here. You stayed through the whole conversation. That tells me something important about you. Let us finish this together. If this video gave you one real insight, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Not for the algorithm, for them. The middle-class trap is not a solo experience. Most of the people around you are living inside it right now. They simply do not have the language for what they are feeling. Give them this video. It may change the conversation inside their household in ways you cannot predict. Now, if you want me to go further, I can build an entire framework around Phase 3 and beyond, including the specific compounding vehicles I recommend for people rebuilding after 40, and the exact identity reprogramming sequence that accelerates the exit. Just comment on the word framework below this video. And if you want a tool that elevates your entire financial life, join the Trip to Wealth Command Center Early Access list below and lock in a discount as an early supporter. It is a Google Sheets system that unifies your income, spending, investing, and net worth into one strategic dashboard. Think of it as your personal command hub, built to reveal money leaks, spotlight growth opportunities, and show how small decisions compound into real wealth. Every wealth system needs a strategy. This is where it starts. If you found value today, I highly recommend watching my next video. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave your comment below, especially if this video made you think differently. I appreciate your support more than you know. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.